A few of my quadcopter flying friends have bought wings. Why'd they buy a wing? I don't know. But I had to be part of the fun, so I picked up the ZOHD Dart Sweepforward wing. And this kit actually comes with everything you need ready to fly. The motor's on here, the ESC, the servos, and it has a single ESC inside of it. The only thing this does not come with is a video camera and a video transmitter. But in addition to the parts that are in here, to get it to fly, you actually need your own battery, and this supports 3 or 4 cell batteries, and this is actually a 4 cell battery. You need a receiver, a PPM receiver, or just a regular 4-channel receiver, and you also need to supply your own transmitter. So in this video, I'm going to be hooking this up today, and I'm going to be showing you how to hook up the Taranis and set it up so that it's ready to take this and be able to fly it. So the flight video itself will actually have to wait till later because it's snowy and wet outside. So here's the wing fully assembled. The wings come separately and this comes separately, so you have to put all these together. But these are just held on with magnets, so that's actually going to be nice if you crash. Instead of ripping these off, they'll just pull off with the magnets and you'll be able to slip them back on. These wings are just slip into place, and they have the servos built into them, and they snap in here, and there's a carbon fiber piece that goes across between the wings to give it a little support. Now, one thing that's different between quadcopters and wings like this is that you have a single ESC, and the power wire here actually goes down and connects directly to the ESC itself. And if you look, here's the ESC. Let me see if I can pull it out a little bit. And this is actually a 30 amp ESC, and it's rated 2 to 4 cell. So I guess you could run 2 cell in here. I guess kind of nice. Now, a lot of quadcopters have ESCs that don't have BECs built in them. It's a battery eliminating circuit or something like that. Anyway, this outputs 5 volts, and it comes up here and it powers the flight board sitting here. Also coming off of this is the signal wire. Right there it is. The white wire is a signal wire, and so it feeds, this thing is getting power off of the ESC. The ESC is getting power off of your battery, and then it's talking back to the ESC across that signal wire. Then there's also 2 more wires in here that go to the two servos on each wing, or the 1 servo on each wing. So over here on this side of the flight board, these are the receiver wires. Now, if you're using PPM or CPPM, you should be able to hook up just this one connection up to your channel 1, probably, depending on what receiver you're using. But if you're using a 4-channel receiver, then you're going to use all 4 of these. And if you look closely inside here, and this is important for, okay, I'm not doing a very good job. This is important for knowing the order you're supposed to hook these up in. But essentially, these say aileron, elevator, throttle, rudder, and then mode are down there in the bottom. And that's pretty good. So you want to make sure you're either hooking these up in the right order, and we're also setting the Taranis up in the right order. So that way when you connect it, it's actually going to do what you want it to do and what you expect it to do. So anyway, let me get the Taranis out and we'll start setting up a new model for this. The first thing we're going to do is create a new model. So we come down here, find a new spot, hold down enter and put create model. And it's going to pop this little menu. If you're not getting this little menu, you probably have a little bit different firmware version. But in this case, here's the wing, but we're going to choose the airplane. And the reason we're choosing the airplane is because all of the channels are listed on that flight controller instead of just being a wing controller. Okay, so here's first thing it's asking us is what channel our motor is on. Well, it does have a motor, so we leave that as yes. And this one, we're going to put this down to channel 3. There we go. And we go ahead and push page and go to the next one. Do we have ailerons? Yes. Oh, yes. Okay, and the ailerons are on channel 1. And then we go to the next page. Do we have flaps? No. Do we have air brakes? No. Do we have a rudder and a aileron? Elevator? Yes. Okay, so we go ahead and push the minus button, and the elevator is actually on channel 2. So we'll change that to channel 2. And the rudder, if we had one, it would actually be on channel 4. So we'll just leave that there, and we push page. And now it should say throttle, aileron, elevator, rudder on channels 3, 1, 2, and 4. So go ahead and hold down enter, and there's our new model ready to go. Now the next thing we need to do is to page over and come up here and get it to bind to the D4R2. Now D4R2 uses 8 channels, a D8 like this. So go ahead and set that to D8, hit bind, and then we're going to power or connect the receiver to the quad and get ready to power it up and bind it. So here's my D4R2, and these top 3 pins over here on the right hand side from here are the channels that we want to use. It's channel 1. So I'm going to go and plug this in here with the signal on the outside, followed by the power and the ground wire. All right, so that should be all we need for that. We'll go ahead and plug this in, make sure it doesn't smoke. Nope, okay. Should be good. Okay, I'm going to hit bind on the
signal, critical, telemetry lost.
Bind on the Taranis. And I'm going to hold down this button here and try to plug this in all while I'm doing it on video. Okay, here we go. Plug it in correctly. All right, we got the green light, so we should be good. All right, so let me try and plug it in now. Hopefully the green light comes back.
Telemetry recovered.
Yes, it did. All right, so we're good to go. With the D4R bound, I'm going to go ahead and hook up the other wires onto here for channels 2, 3, and 4. So the blue one is going to hook up to channel 2, which connects on right there. The yellow one is going to connect up to channel 3, which is this outer pin. And then the green wire will hook up to channel 4. And there we go. With the way we have the D4R connected, we need to come here and make a couple changes. I'm here on the same model, and I'm going to come over here to the inputs, and I'm going to change this 5th input. I'm going to change it to say aux1. I'm going to change the source on here to be the switch up here on the top right, this one right here, to change the modes. And this is what's going to change us from the auto level beginner to the advanced not auto level. So it should say SG when you're done. So here on the next page, if I go over one page, oh, get out of this. Go over one page. And channel 4, we don't want channel 4 to be the rudder. We want it to be actually be set up for the aux1, which is right here. Source, we're going to change it to say aux1, and the name is, you can leave it to say rudder, or if you want to make it right, you can change it to aux1 or whatever else you want it to be. And I just missed it. All right, so now we have our aileron, elevator, throttle, and aux1. And if you have the included instructions, you can see aileron, elevator, throttle, and then your mode switch will be channel 4. So our channels here on the left, let me see, there we go. Channels here on the left match up with the labels. So we should be good to go. Hopefully this will work, and it just worked the first time. We'll see in just a second. Before you go connecting the battery, make sure you've taken the propeller off of the back motor, because the last thing we need to do is have this thing go flying all over the room because we didn't take it off. Here, I'll go ahead and plug this in.
Recovered.
Oh, good. Okay. It was beeping funny because I had my throttle up above 0. But I got the channels all set correctly. So if I give it the throttle, we should hear the motor spin up. Yep, we are. Okay, good. And the rudder doesn't do anything. This elevate as the ailerons, if you push left, this left one over here should come up. You push right, this one over here should come up. And they're both doing the opposite. So, I mean, they're both moving the opposite directions, but the correct directions. Okay, if we pull back, they should both come up. Oh, they both go down. Okay, so the elevator is reversed. If we pull down, the aileron should come up. So to fix that, we're going to come in here, go to the elevator, and we're going to edit this. This is on the mix tab. So we're going to come down here to the weight, and we're going to change this down to -100. So got to hold it down again. Okay, now we're at -100, so if I exit out of that part. Okay, now I pull back and they come up, push forward, they go down. Okay, good. So that is correct. So, oh yeah, also we need to make sure that this channel changer here is working. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. Up on this flight board, we should see it change colors. So if I flip the switch, oh yeah, there goes the blinking red, there goes the solid blue. So we are in business. Okay, Good. That should be everything we need to make this work. Oh, the last thing we need to do, sorry, one more thing. We need to calibrate the ESCs. Okay, so the way you do that on this kind of ESC is you have to unplug the battery, and we're going to crank the throttle all the way up. Unplug this. We're going to move the throttle
Telemetry lost.
to the completely up forward position. Then we're going to plug the ESC in.
Recovered.
There we got 2 beeps saying that it's ready to calibrate. We'll take this, throw it to the bottom. There we got 3 beeps saying that it now knows where the bottom of the throttle is. All right, there it is. So we are ready to take this thing out and fly it. However, I'm not going to do that today because too snowy. So come back later, I'll have a flight video of this and it should be flying near perfectly. Oh, one last thing before you do this is you want to make sure you put this prop on correctly, especially if you're coming from the world of quads.
Signal critical.
You got to remember, this side up here is the front and this is the back. So when you put this prop on, if you've been flying quads, you're going to feel like you're putting this on upside down, which you essentially are, because you want to make sure you put the side with the numbers on it or the top of the prop to the front and push it on there. And that's how the prop has to go on, because it's going to be spinning this direction, and this is a pusher prop, not a puller prop like you would have on a lot of quadcopters. So there we go. All right, so now got to get all this stuff tucked away inside there and then put the top back on, and it should be ready to take out and fly. Anyway, if you have any questions about this ZOHD quadcopter, I almost called it a quad, wing, then let me know down in the comments. If you have one and you think it's awesome or you think it's terrible, let me know too, because I'm hoping that this will compete with my friends' wings that they have. So anyway, come back later, watch a video of it flying. If you have any questions, leave them down below. And as always, thanks for watching. And so it was a pretty good flight, and then it went straight into the ground. So it went straight into the ground and it broke the propeller, but it was awesome.